everyone and welcome back. I've got the Chiappa or Chiappa, I can never say the name right, M9-22. It's a clone of the Beretta 92, and if you've seen my videos where I shoot production division in USPSA, I pretty much use the Beretta 92F exclusively. And just recently in my 3-gun videos where I shot the LaRue match, the Texas Multi-Gun Championships, I ended up using my Beretta as well for that. So when I saw this 22 clone come out, I thought, you know what, that's kind of cool. It'll be cheap for training, because if you've ever done any shooting drills, you can go through your ammunition fast. I picked this up for around $300, probably a little bit more after shipping and whatever taxes. I chose the wooden grips over the plastic grips because my real Beretta has the plastic grips, and I thought, wood looks a little different, I'll give that a try. Only thing is, the wood is definitely wider than the black plastic on the real Beretta. I don't know if you can see that, but you can definitely feel the difference in your hands when you hold that thing. But I'm thinking about switching out the grips to get some plastic ones on because it just feels too blocky. But the grips do not fit a standard 92. Let's take these off and I'll show what I mean. Okay, so here's the wooden grip off the Chiappa, and here's the plastic grips off the Beretta. You notice there's a little bit more milling here on the Beretta to allow for it to fit inside the frame. That is definitely not going to mate up with this. So when you set it on there, it just kind of floats around. Perhaps I may go out and buy some used grips somewhere and just grind all this off. I bet with some Dremel tool work, you can probably make the plastic grips fit. But let's take a look at the thickness on these things. The wooden grips are just way thicker. And like I said, it feels thicker as well. The M9-22 is also heavier than the real Beretta. The Beretta weighs about 1 pound 14 ounces, and this 22 surprisingly weighs 2 pounds 2 ounces, so it's heavier. And that, in conjunction with the fat grips, feels really heavy in the hands. Let me put these grips back on. So with the pistol itself came with a cleaning brush, a little chamber indicator. This is actually kind of nice for dry firing, but I wouldn't use it too much because it'll just wear out over time. A nice plastic coyote colored box. An instruction manual that was quite limited in instruction, I should say. And this tool right here, which I have no earthly idea what it goes to. And the instruction manual didn't reference it at all. Anyways, looking at the magazines, they're a plastic magazine. It seemed kind of cheap at first when I first saw it, but after I held it, I thought, you know what, that's some pretty sturdy stuff. And it comes apart really easy too. Taking this tool, which what it might be for, is to just depress that. The base pad comes off, and then our follower and spring comes out. The magazine capacitors are 10 for this. You might be able to squeeze out a little bit more if you grind off this, but you don't have much room. So I bet if you mill that off, you might get one extra round in there. I may experiment later on down the road, but right now I'm just going to keep them at 10 because I don't see the point. That one extra round might be nice, but if I can get extra mags, I might experiment. I'll make a video on that if I do. The controls for the M9 or M9-22 are pretty much the same for the Beretta. A disappointment for me was the decocker. The decocker, as you can see, it is really stiff. Watch this, I'm going to try to put it on safe. And you can see the slide actually move, so you have to hold the slide in place and then turn it. It decocks a gun, but it is so stiff. And after looking at it, I realized that the decocker is made of plastic, and so the friction points on the slide and the plastic, or just the tolerances of the plastic itself, just make it too dang tight. This is nowhere near as easy as my Beretta to snap off, because I usually snap it off with my thumb, and there's no way you can do this without hurting yourself. I guess they made it out of plastic to reduce the cost, because this part here would have to be machined because it's pretty intricate, being that it turns the firing pin out of the way here, just like the real Beretta. You can see it start to move as I move the decocker. So I suspect that's a cost reduced method for them. Wow, can't speak today. Let's take a look at the sights on the M9-22. The rear sight is plastic, and it uses a set screw for drifting left and right for windage. There's no way to adjust for elevation with this model. And the front here, it's molded into the slide. The finish on the gun itself is like a heavy duty paint, but it is scratching up, as you can see right there. And a lot of this activity that you're seeing on the barrel there came from me trying to put this sucker back together. But I expect some normal wear to happen right around the barrel here where the slide is working back and forth. My M9 itself is really scratched up right around in here where the slide contacts the barrel. Teardown for the M9-22 is similar to the Beretta, but not quite exactly the same. On the real Beretta, you press this in right here and turn this knob down. But on this one, you just press this, turn it, and press it like so. And the whole thing comes out. And when you do this, the guide rod is going to slam back into the back of the frame. So you hear a noise when I do this. So there's the base of the guide rod. You can see it through the hole. So at this point right here, then you'd cock the gun, pull it to its rearward position, and push up on the back. So now you push up, you just slide the frame, or the slide off the frame. One more thing about this gun before I go much further is the guide rod. I saw this guide rod is incredibly cheap looking. It looks like just cast metal. I would assume it's more expensive to mill, you know, a guide rod out. I may have one made or toy around with the idea of seeing if there's a spare one out there on the internet to buy. But it has these holes in here which the instruction manual didn't reference either. So I'm unsure what that is, but I kind of figured it out later on what they're used for, and I'll show that here in a minute when we put it back together. So picking up the frame, the barrel and the frame is all integrated into one. It appears that there's a barrel sleeve in there, and then this is just cast metal around the barrel. Here in the back, the hammer, it's got a little bit of movement left and right, a little bit more than my Beretta, but it seems kind of cheap once you get it apart. I must say, it looks cheap to me, but I ran about 350 to 400 rounds through this with no problems at all. This thing just ate up everything except the super cheap ammo. Sometimes you get some cheap ammo in there, and if you've seen my other videos on 22s, I love inexpensive ammo, but the only problem is you pay for that in reliability issues. But upon looking at it, it looks kind of cheap, but so far it's been working pretty good. Now I'm going to shoot the heck out of this thing. So just keep in touch, or stay tuned if you will, to see how it holds up. So anyways, putting this thing back together was a real chore. It took me a while to figure it out. Kind of figured it out on my own because, like I said, the instruction manual sucked. Oh, here's the view of the slide. Nice little machine work in here. And there's the decocker. You can see, like I said, it's plastic, but I tell you, it's probably an expensive part to machine later on down the road. So anyways, let's put that aside. To assemble this thing, this is the bad part here. We'll take our guide rod and spring, drop it in like so. Notice how it goes in here, so that renders putting this part in here pretty much useless. Then we'll take our slide and we'll slide it on. You get them all the way to the back and down. You have to pinch or pull this thing down while pushing the slide all the way back, and then you have to, using your finger, and you will booger up your finger, so be careful with this, pull the hammer down a little bit and then work the slide forward. So that got it on. This part right here is like a pinch point for me when you're trying to pull that slide back and pull the hammer down. The manual reference is a stick or something, but anyways, you cannot get this pin in its place because the guide rod is all the way back. So how do you do it? Oh, there, I pulled that all the way back again. It's locked open. So let me get that down. Okay. On my competition open gun, there's a hole drilled in the guide rod, and if you notice here, when I pull the slide back a little bit, you can see the hole. And what I usually do on the competition pistol is I put in a paper clip that's been cut, but I'm going to use an Allen wrench here. So I take it in there, I drop it in the hole, and then I let the tension off the slide. And what it does is it keeps the slide open. Now I can push the slide forward, and if you notice when I push the slide forward, it brings that recoil guide rod forward, and now I can put this thing in there. So that, now I can pull it back and remove my Allen key, And there we go. So I believe that's the proper way to put this thing back together, because you can sit here and try to pull that guide rod out and it will not move enough for you to put that in there. But like I said, I read the instruction manual and I couldn't find anything in here about using an Allen key or this tool right here. So you guys are welcome for that. There was a quite harsh words said trying to figure this out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more competition shootings and updates on this pistol.